Hello, good morning, and welcome to this Dawn Busters Taste Challenge. It's dark out there, but I can see the tiniest little glint of daylight. Daylight is on the way, and it should arrive during the course of this video production in beautiful 720 HD, 720p, formerly HD, now relegated to low fidelity. But anyway, this is mostly an audio production. Most people don't sit there and stare at the screen. They do things while they listen to it, which is what I do when I'm listening to video reviews for beer, wine, and liquor. Oh, I mean, I'll look at it screen for a little bit, but I'm mostly listening to this and that and the other thing. I mean, I'm fooling around with this, that, and the other thing. Maybe dust in the room. Good time to dust. Listening to that. All right. So we got Old Overholt, the red cap, currently at Walmart, priced at $15.99 per bottle. Walmart. They're showing the Keystone State. Introduced in Pennsylvania in 1810. But you know what? It was acquired by the Beam-Suntory company at some point, and that distillery in Pennsylvania is now shut down and is a ruin. And I would not recommend you go trying to snoop around there. It's dangerous. But I saw a YouTube video where people were doing just that, snooping around there. All right. But now it's produced at the Jim Beam, one of their distilleries. It says right there on the bottle. Old Overholt, 3 years old. This is a 3-year-old non-chill filtered. This is the new 2020 edition, non-chill filtered, 86 proof, aged 3 years. So the age didn't change, 3-year age. And the black cap, 3-year age in the red cap. 80 proof, 86 proof. Chill filtered, non-chill filtered. Okay. $15.99 and still $15.99. Okay, it says, what's up? Looks good. Thank you. Now, so we pour this. You can tell it's a Beam bottle. It's that standard Jim Beam bottle. Brown, though. Brown is good. Clear is not so good. Poured a little too much. It comes out. Some of these bottles, they just flow out. Rubber cork, neoprene from DuPont. Neoprene used in so many things like shoe soles. The spongy rubber-like compound. Winchester, Kentucky Rye Whiskey. Don't know when it was introduced. I do know it's 90 proof, and I do know that it's aged 1 year and a day. It says in about a year and 1 day, a minimum. And it is from O.Z. Taylor Distillery. And they don't have a website listing for it. Some guy had a write-up about this, and it's like, oh, O.Z. Tyler, check right. Yeah, Tyler, not Taylor. But when you click, it takes you to this company called Green Distillery, Greene. So it could just be an alias for the Green Distillery of Bowling Green, Kentucky. Fix that. I thought it was Tyler. Tab says, what do you think of the midterms? I think Republicans ran in a lot of difficult Democrat districts. Well, it's not really germane to what we're doing right now, but they're making it sound like that party lost the election, but they got more votes than the other party. 35 elections for Senate and 435 for House. When they're finally finished counting all the votes, I think they'll have won more than they lost. I think everything has been crazy. It has been crazy. All right. But, a lot of voters don't have good sense. They'll think money is magic, for instance. Most Americans think money is magic. That they're like a child. A little child would tell his parent, just write a check. Because they don't understand, they just write a check. Like the parent could just write checks for everything. I think everything. Yeah. So, but that's how Americans are. They think the government, just spend it. Just spend it. Well, they don't have any money. The money's coming from you. All right. So these are both gold. Like I say, I poured too much, and I'm disappointed in that. And I think I know what I'm going to do. This Friday coming up. Oh, man. I could do the taste challenge Friday, but there's a lot of football games on at the time when I could do it. And I might, what I might just do? I might preempt it today for Friday. You said, well, it's 4 days ahead. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 5 days ahead. But that's okay. It's not like a big strict thing. It's so strict. I've even done some extras this year, some bonus slots, which can be dangerous because then you say, well, maybe I'll do another bonus slot. I'll do another bonus slot and then do another bonus slot. Pretty soon you're an old drunk. And that's not a good thing. How are freedom of right? Now, what does this statement mean? How are freedom of right? Doesn't make sense. Okay. Yeah. Aroma, appearance, deep gold. So that's a tie. Aroma is the same. It's like pungent grains, cereal grains. So meaning rye and other things. Can a rye whiskey be 100% rye? Certainly can be. That's not an issue. The only requirement is that it has to be at least 51% rye. The other 49 can be any other grain. And the only other requirement for rye is that it's aged in new, charred oak barrels. White oak is what they typically use. Doesn't have to be white, could be any kind of oak. The law, the regulation in pursuant to the law, aged in new, mean never before used, charred white oak barrels. How long does it have to be aged? No specific requirement. And that has to be aged at least 2 years for it to be classified as what they call straight rye. All right. Same thing with bourbon. People will say, oh, bourbon, it has to be aged at least 2 years. No, it doesn't. And then some people say 4. Well, that's definitely not the case. Bourbon doesn't have to be aged any specific amount of time. Straight bourbon has to be aged at least 2 years. Okay, then people seem to not realize there's different classes of bourbon. There's blended bourbon, sort of a low grade. I don't want to say low quality, but that's really what I mean. There's bourbon, just bourbon. That can be high or low. You know what I'm saying? Cheapo, mid-range, or expensive. And then there's straight bourbon. And then there's actually one called a blend of straight bourbons, but you don't see that too much. And then there's bonded bourbon, bottled and bond. But straight bourbon could be the same thing: cheap, mid-range, expensive. I know where to buy so many cheap straight bourbons, it's unreal. Does the straight bourbon requirement ensure a bit of quality? I think it does. May not be a lot, but it's saying it's a bit of a level of quality. Yes. And with the American blended whiskey regulations, it does ensure something. It has to be at least 20% straight whiskey. Can't be below that. Can't just be all grain spirits. That would be a thing called grain neutral spirits. And if it goes below 20, then they could still sell it as whiskey, but they call it spirit whiskey. And I see that on the shelves. I don't know what people buy that for, but I guess they buy it. Yeah, so let's go with the taste, because the aroma is a washout and the appearance is a washout, meaning they don't look different or smell different one from the other. Come on, daylight. It's taking a long time. It's going to happen more and more as we approach December 21st, though, is it not going to? Yeah, that's minty. That's spicy. That's rye. Rye has that spicy flavor. Some people hate it. I mean, they just hate it. I know some people that hate rye bread. If you say rye bread, they say, oh, that's horrible. And rye whiskey, oh, it's horrible. Now, is the person wrong to say that? Well, of course they're not wrong. They don't like it. You think everybody likes the same things? That isn't the case. But people have these ideas where their opinion is a fact because they think, they're the axis. The world revolves around them, or the universe is centered on them. And if they don't watch television, it's not on. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, but that doesn't mean that. Just because you like something doesn't mean everybody else likes it. And it doesn't make it definitively or objectively good. On the other hand, it doesn't make it objectively bad, because opinions are not objective. They're subjective. An opinion would be, don't you remember that in school when they gave those standardized tests? They have a whole section about opinions versus fact. Now you might say, no, I did bad on that, that's why I couldn't get into college. Oh, yes. Because they had a sentence, this cake tastes really good, but you thought it was a fact. Where the other sentence was a fact. This is a chocolate cake. See, statement of fact. This is a chocolate cake. As opposed to, this cake tastes really good. I'm being funny, but in fact, if you get on Alcohol Eggs and some other Facebook groups, it ain't really that funny, because it's scary that people will actually not just say it as a lark or say it as a joke or just being, controversial or trying to start trouble. No, they actually believe it. That's the scary thing. Now, more facts. One of these is aged at least a year. The other one is aged 3 years. One is $24.99 at Total Wine & More, as of the last time I checked. And the other one is $15.99 at Walmart. I know that. I was just at Walmart yesterday, and they had it on the shelf. I saw it. They must have had 20 bottles, $15.99. Now, whether you think it's good or not, that's totally up to you and your opinion. And your opinion may change. Sometimes things seem really good, and then the more we drink them, we start to turn against them. Like we say, oh, something about this give me the heebie-jeebies. I don't like it. I thought I liked it. I don't. See, that can happen too. Or it can grow on you. Some things I used to hate, I like now. Maybe my ability to taste things matured, on those type of things. All right. So, am I noticing a big, huge chasm between these two? Like in the Wonderful Wizard of Oz, that novel, where they had the Kallidas and they fell into the chasm. And they had a problem because of Yellow Brick Road. They couldn't go across the chasm because the bridge was out. So that was a big involved story with Kallidas. That was the name of the creatures, Kallidas. Wasn't in the movie. The movie only put a little bit of the book, actually. All right. But no, there is no great chasm between these two. Oh, that's right. They had to get the colliders to jump across. That's right. Isn't that right? They held on to the colliders. See, I can't remember. It's been so long since I read the book. I actually read the book before I could read because I had an audio book. I had the, the print copy paperback, but it came with an audio version, the whole book, spoken word. So I was 3 years old. My aunt and uncle gave it to me. Thank you, Aunt Betty, Uncle Casey. And so I would just read the book by listening to it. Couldn't read. I was 3 years old. And I listened to that. I must have read it, in an audio sense about 5-6 times. And I always remember the first line of that novel. Dorothy lived in the midst of the great Kansas prairie. This one might be a little creamier, the one in my right hand. My right hand. Now I'm picking this up with my right hand, but yeah, okay. Yeah. Okay, yeah. That one to my left tastes spicier, maybe a little harsher if you want to use that term. The one to my right is creamier. Oh, but it's not a great difference, but it's a difference. I think everything has been crazy. How our freedom of right, or whatever that means. Have you ever reviewed this 10 cup whiskey? No, but I've seen it. Give your own shot 10. Okay, Derek has an interesting way of speaking. All right, anyway, which one do I prefer? Well, it's hard to say because the real spicy kind of harsh one, if you say bitey, it's kind of nice. It's interesting. Has some interesting ways about it. But the creamy one is nice too. Does the chill filtering seem to make a difference? I didn't really find that it made much difference from the get-go. I mean, the day I bought this product and I reviewed it, I thought, well, non-chill filtered, I don't see where it's a big difference. But some people may be able to pick that up better than I can. I don't know. I really don't have a position on chill filtering. People ask me, are you a non-chill filter guy or a chill filter guy? Which side do you choose? You must choose. But I can't choose because I don't know. If you get on the George Dickel website, that's their whole raison d'etre. They go down there talking about George Dickel's website. Oh, we chill filter our whiskey. That's why our whiskey's better. We developed chill filtering in the 1870s. George Dickel, he developed it. And look, and they go on till the break of dawn, And then you get on some other person's website and they'll say, oh, chill filtering, that's the worst. Only a nincompoop, a dummy, would do that. And so it's like, and I'm over here a consumer thinking, well, they both claiming that it's the best way, chill filtering versus non-chill filtering. I'm over here not knowing. I can't really taste the difference. You got me so confused. Oh, so very confused. And that's not right. But ultimately, I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care yet. I mean, I may care one day. Yeah. I think 86 proof versus 90, nah, that's not going to make much difference. No. But I think this creaminess, it's almost like sugar cream, that you get inside the Cadbury egg. I think that is tough. Where is the daylight? Now I know, well, yeah, it is cloudy, so that's a problem. And it's damp and cold. Now, if you think Louisiana's warm, think again. It's not. Usually in the winter, it's miserable, cold and damp. Now, especially North Louisiana's, they have even blizzards in North Louisiana. They have more of a continental climate. We have more of a humid subtropical climate in the South. Humid, key word, humid and miserable. But I think I prefer the creamier one, and I think it's the Old Overholt, and it's $8 cheaper, so automatically it's going to win. Yep, $9 cheaper, $9 cheaper. Well. How you feel, Plate? It is the Old Overholt. I got it right. So just goes to show you, you can pay more, but you don't always get more. So even though the Winchester's $9 more expensive, is it better? No, it's not even as good. So go with Old Overholt, $15.99 at your local Walmart. It's a better deal. Thanks for watching. Y'all take care now. Go on and watch the news.